Hey guys, what's going on? It's Josh, and we're back up and running Conduit Zero One, and we have put in Destiny for the PlayStation 4. Um, so yeah, a little background on this before we get right into it. Destiny is created by Bungie, who are the creators of Halo franchise that you guys all probably know and love. Um, and there was a lot of hype on this game. It was clearly one of the year's biggest anticipated games. It was debuted, I believe, at the last E3, last year's E3 actually, and it was really a beautiful game just to look at. You know, when something like that happens, especially now, um, after seeing things like Watch Dogs, you know, debuting a pretty game, and then the final product is pretty to look at or gorgeous or anything like that, you get a little hesitant about that, and I know for me that was one of the fears I was afraid of. But it holds up well. It's still very beautiful, um, and it handles great. So yeah, I figured we'd just do a quick little review video, kind of go over things and see how we are. My character is a Hunter class character. It's pretty much just a stealth type character. I'm a level 9. I haven't been playing too much. I've only gotten up to story mission 4. Um, and, you know, it kind of merges RPG elements with first-person shooter elements. And that's something totally new. This game has been getting a lot of criticism for kind of ripping off from other games. And one game in particular that people are saying is Borderlands, which it does have that same mechanic. You know, you equip different weapons that have different fire rates and attack powers and stuff like that. And then over here you have different bits of armor and stuff that, you know, increase your defense capabilities. And in a lot of ways, Borderlands does have that. Um, but, you know, there's not much in terms of individuality or um, concept thinking going on. You know, it's kind of like a greatest hits kind of game, but it's an absolutely fun game. I know I'm enjoying it. My wife is definitely enjoying it. She has her own character that she's got going on here. Um, yeah, so there's three kinds of characters that you can have. There's a human, an awoken, and there's like a machine type character. And to best relate those, like I look at Warcraft series, and I relate that as, you know, there's still a human element. The Awoken kind of relate to the elves, and then the machine type characters that are in this game, you relate a little more towards the orcs. And, you know, we'll look at the creation stuff in some different videos later on. I do want to put out a couple of videos on Destiny. Probably do a Let's Play on one of the characters a little later as well. Just to kind of change things up and make it a little interesting for people watching. So yeah, don't want to spend too much time. Just a hunter class. My character is an awoken. And what that means is essentially it varies in this. This is your skill tree kind of that relates to the kind of character that you have. Um, and that's pretty much what all this is. It's you know, my character is kind of elf-like, so it focuses on, you know, being able to jump and, you know, your accuracy and stuff like that, which kind of relates to like an elf and a bow. And, you know, elves are generally, you know, in games like Skyrim or something like that, they're very precise and know what they're doing with a bow. So it's kind of the same concept here, you know, your accuracy and stuff like that. Um, and like I said, there is another character. I've seen it. The skill trees all are different from each character. It's not just, you know, it's a skin over the same kind of character. Um, so yeah, like I said, it is designed and created by the people who created Halo. So there are some elements to the game that are very Halo reminiscent. And in terms of that, you know, I look at things like the firearms and stuff. Can't really see it in this. See if I have an assault rifle for you. We'll go with the pulse rifle. There should be something, I think, on that. No, not too much. I think just your general assault rifle. I'm not too sure. Can't find one that really links up with it. Let's see if pull up the fusion rifle maybe. Nope, same things. Pretty much the same weapons on that. So, there's pretty much an assault rifle with the Halo series, the assault rifles and that. You would have a digital read on the back of the assault rifle there where the scope is, and it would just tell you how many bullets are left. And while you have a counter down to the left, you would have it on the gun. You have the same thing for this character here as well. So yeah, you know, it's kind of reminiscent of that. As well as when you pull up a vehicle, you get on this thing, and this is kind of reminiscent as well, especially in steering. You know, you use the camera to get around, and you use the other stick to actually drive and navigate it. And this is a little reminiscent, actually, of the Ghosts, the little purple speeder bikes that you saw in Halo. It's very reminiscent of that. But, you know, definitely not a mark against it. They definitely polished the game and made it so that while there are elements that remind you of Halo, it's not playing Halo. It's very different from what they put out. So while there's a source of comfort to it, there is a level much greater than that. So, yeah, so like I said, there's not really anything I find wrong with the game. The story is pretty much the only thing I'm not too crazy about. When I play games, I feel like a dying breed. I'm someone who likes a story that pulls you and draws you in. You know, I love the Mass Effect series because you get really attached to those characters and their background stories. And you know, like, they're just, you know, Fable is kind of story-driven. I like a good story. And this game, while it has a story, it doesn't feel like it's weighing you down with the story. And that's actually really nice. You know, you can just enjoy the game and play in your own way. And it's a fun game to go through without worrying about, you know, what's going on. You know, you can put the game down, come back in a couple of months, and, you know, you'd have no idea what's going on, and you don't need to. You know, you can play it at your own pace and not worry about it. One of the things I do like, and I was excited for, is this little guy right here. They call it a ghost, and they actually pulled in some top tier actors, and the ghost is actually voiced by Peter Dinklage, which some people might know from the Game of Thrones series. He plays Tyrion Lannister. And he was also in the X-Men Days of Future Past. He was the guy who created the Sentinels in that film as well. And then in the story itself, the narrator for the story is Bill Nye. And you guys might recognize Bill Nye from some of the Simon Pegg films, like Shaun of the Dead, and he was a voiceover character for World's End, and he was the police chief from Hot Fuzz. So yeah, he's done a couple of films. He was also in Underworld. That was another one that some people might really recognize him from. But like I said, they've got some top tier characters, or actors actually, I should say, that are voicing some stuff in here, which is kind of different and unique to see in a game. You know, you see a lot of other people that you don't recognize or associate with, but they actually got some like A-list actors in here, so it's pretty nice to kind of listen to. I love Peter Dinklage. He seems like he's a really funny kind of guy. Be interesting to have a drink with him someday. But yeah, so, you know, just playing through the game. Like I said, I'm only a level 9. Not a whole lot wrong with the game. You know, this area that I'm in is actually kind of an open world area. And it's where people will pretty much come to just kind of level up their character. Because, again, it does have RPG elements to it. Which is fine. But also in going with, you know, because it is Bungie, they do have like a multiplayer aspect to it. So to access things like that, you have to reach a level 5 character, and the reasoning behind that is, for those who are more associated with Halo and understand it, Halo would drop you in a multiplayer match, and you would just have a very base character, and you'd fight with him and pick up different weapons, and it would just pretty much always look like a slaughter. There wasn't really any customization. But in this, they actually use your character. Like, the character you saw before is the character you take into a multiplayer match. And that's what the Crucible section is. And you unlock each one as you play it. I finished a kind of capture the flag arena. This looks like just a death match right here. And then these two pieces I haven't gotten into because I'm terrible at multiplayer. I will gladly admit that. My character isn't ideally suited to doing a multiplayer match. Because it is just... I'm very sniperish. You know, I only have a little hand pistol and a sniper rifle. I can't really take those into a multiplayer match because multiplayer is essentially just always a slaughter of who has the better gear. And it's usually people just run into a small confined space and shoot somebody in the face with a shotgun or an assault rifle to just get the most damage. And I've had some success just using my handgun, my hand cannon, or the 6-shooter, because it is very powerful, and you blast through a person's shield in like 2 bullets, and then you just unload the rest into their body. And you know, I've downed a couple of guys.
Well, let's see what's out there.
But what I like is when you look at this section here, you see these extra spaces, and essentially what happens is you fill these up with some real heavy hitters, and you can take these weapons with you into multiplayer. And I haven't done it yet. I don't really have anything that's worth doing it with. But you know, these are things that all come with you into multiplayer. So whatever you have equipped is what you take. And again, you know, things are interchangeable. You know, you look at your chest piece here. What I have, if I were to equip this, it does change a little to the style. So as you saw, my chest piece did change from what it was, and then we go back to this. So they do detail it pretty well. You know, there's not much that I can say I don't like about this game. So yeah, like I said, my copy is for the PS4, and oh, there you go, you got some people in here. That's one of the other things is the game, you know, being a MMO style game, is you do have other players that'll drop in. And the game, pretty much, you need to have a PlayStation Plus account to access those kind of features. And you can't regulate that from what I've seen. You can't like just have a single player mission by yourself, because when you open up the skill trees in that, you know, it says co-op with other characters. So that's the only thing I really don't like, is it restricts you. You have to play in a level with other people. And sometimes I just like going at it alone to get like all the experience. And it just makes it feel like I've accomplished this stuff on my own. You know, that's probably the only thing I could care a little too much on. But some of the story stuff, like in the missions, like the actual story missions, you'll get to a certain point, and what'll happen is they remove the other characters, and you go from that point to the end of the game or the story alone. So yeah, that's Destiny. Just wanted to do a quick review. It is an absolutely beautiful game. I do suggest you pick your copy up as soon as possible. Get your character level up there, get in the game, enjoy it. You know, you don't have to worry about too much on the story. It's just something to go in and blow some steam off or have some fun. So keep your eyes peeled. I'll be doing some Let's Plays on a different character. And yeah, so hit that button down below for link and subscribe. Like and subscribe, I should say. I always say link. And thanks for your support, and we'll see you guys later. Keep your fingers loose. Have a good day.